I'm ready, man.
Ready? Good evening.
Good evening.
The time is 6:35, Thursday, January 30th, 2020. The City of East Cleveland Agenda Review Council meeting is now called to order. Dr. Guy, can you call the roll, please?
Councilor Austin.
Present.
Councilor Stevenson.
Present.
Councilor Martin. Absent. Councilor Gowdy.
Present.
Councilor Smith.
Present. Next, we have remarks of public on agenda items. 2 minutes, please.
Resolution.
Please give your name and address.
It hasn't changed since the last time.
Come on, man. Come on now, Mr. O'Malley, sir. You want everybody to do right? Let's do right. Let's do it in this agenda review. That way, when we get to the regular cup, and you know I appreciate you. I thank you.
Amazing 1860.
Appreciate you so much.
Ordinance 2-20. I think that's the one. An ordinance pursuant to section 333.03 of the codified ordinance of the City of East Cleveland regulating the vehicle speed on city limit on City of East Cleveland. That doesn't program. But anyway, remember, that's totally incorrect. But anyway, I trust that this council will do their due diligence, because all ordinance and resolution is under the auspices of this council to pass laws, and they are to be carried out from that applies to the administration, etc. And he vetoes it. You have the right to override the veto, and it still become law. So I know there have been 2 lights put up since before this meeting and before this, which I stood at this podium and said that before the lights need to be up and not taken down. And I have called in, and they're supposed to be calling me in reference to whom authorized these lights to be removed in the first place. And as I stood here before and said that if we did not put the lights back up, there was an accident ready to happen, and it did happen, and it took a life, and could have been prevented, perhaps if the lights had been there. And I think every council and administration and everybody in this city should be totally upset about that, and because it is incumbent upon this council as well as administration to see that the citizens of this community is safe and protected. That is your responsibility and duty. And so I hope that we will continue to.
Thank you very much. In regards to the ordinance number 0220, my personal belief, after giving it a lot of thought, I don't think that we should drop it. I think we need the lights back. That's what we need. And dropping the speed is just going to be a revenue source for the city, and more interactions with our police department, the higher percentage of a lawsuit, and I think we need to leave the speed right where it's at, and we need to put those lights back up. Now, if they don't want to put them back up, hey, that's on the administration, but yeah, I don't think we need to drop the speed. I think we need to put those lights back up, especially at Lee Road. Someone just crashed into the building because their brakes went out. I don't know what the media was talking about, but their brakes went out. And I don't think that would have changed whether the speed was slower. So I just think that they need to put those lights back up and leave the speed right where it's at.
Area 145 Lemon Terrace Road. First of all, it was a disaster that the lights were taken down in the first place. Second of all, as long as at this point we don't have lights for us older folk to get across this, we need to bring it down. Because right now, I live on Terrace, and because those lights are down, they seem to be speeding up on Terrace, speeding up on Euclid Avenue, and until those lights are up, so those lights are up where they should be, they should maybe bring that, how fast you go, down until those lights are back up. Because getting across that street, I'm looking at the great big buses I have to wait for, and I sort of waved at the cars when I dealt with the lights crossing the street. If you don't get the lights up there, the speed needs to come down until you get some lights back up there. But that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. You know?
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. Same place as 23rd. Yeah, the school zones from 8:30 to 4:30 is 20.
So for the minutes, you all have through January 14, and then the last 3 sets of minutes, those will be available tomorrow. If they're not available tomorrow, they won't appear on the agenda for Tuesday. But you do have through the 14th in your packets.
Thank you, Dr. Guy. Next, we have reports and announcements from Mayor Brandon L. King. Seeing no representation from the administration today, we move on to receipts of communication.
There was just a couple of thank you emails. One from the McGregor staff, thanking Council President for participation on the Census 2020 panel. That was what, last Monday? Or earlier this week, I believe. That last week? Okay, and then we got a little thank you card from the family of Tamia Chapman. I don't know if I spelled the name correct. I couldn't make out the middle name, but I believe that's the young lady that was killed, passed away recently. The family sent a card to council thanking them.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Guy. Next, we have reports of council, from council committees. Contracts and property.
Mr. President, I would like to reserve my comments until the council meeting next week. If that's okay with you.
Yes, sir.
Next meeting will be, you can state the next meeting date from the council president, I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Next contracts and property meeting will be Thursday, February 6th at 6:30 p.m. right here in this very courtroom.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Health and safety with Councilman Martin will next meet Tuesday, February 11th at 5:30 right here in council chambers. The next finance committee meeting will be Tuesday, February 11th at 6:30 right after the health and safety committee right here in this very courtroom. Personnel and appointments.
I would like to hold my comments until next week also.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Councilwoman. The next personnel and appointments meeting will be Tuesday, February 20th at 6:30 p.m. right here in this very courtroom. General services.
General services did not meet, but we'll meet next month, February 25th at heard. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman. Next up, we have proclamations.
There's a proclamation to be available for council to review and sign on the reception desk for Tuesday. But this is an author that we know is Walter Nelson's father, passed away. For the Voices from Our People.
Yes. Next, we have bids. Seeing none, we move on to legislation.
Yeah, ordinance number 01-20, the second reading. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to continue the services for $5,500 of the Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District for the purpose of providing technical assistance and implementing soil and water conservation measures in order to implement the public involvement in public education, the IPU requirement under the Ohio EPA Municipal Second Storm Sewer Discharge MS4 permit, requested by Mayor Brandon King and sponsored by Council Timothy Dawson.
Thank you. Councilman Austin, any discussion?
Yes, as a reminder, this is an opportunity for the residents of our great city as well as the administration to receive some training so that as we build towards the clean water programs of the future, we are prepared and educated.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments, colleagues? Thank you. Move on. Next one, Dr. Guy, please. Thank you.
Ordinance number 02-20 will be the second reading. An ordinance pursuant to section 333.03 of the codified ordinances of the city of East Cleveland, regulating the vehicular speed limit on the city of East Cleveland to change the speed limits to 25 miles per hour from 35 miles per hour for the streets of Superior Avenue at 12501 to 14140 and Euclid Avenue at 12408 to 16383. Requested by the police chief and sponsored by Councilor Martin.
Thank you. Any discussion? You had a consensus to move?
Yeah, I sponsor that.
That's already sponsored.
Oh,
Co-sponsor? Okay. No one has a problem with the moving on to the regular council meeting too.
Brother President, I got a question for you. We asked the administration to put in place the speed sign so we know where the sections of the city, that's not been accomplished yet.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to just move forward without that. That's a small request, and it's not been taken care of. I wanted the administration to be here so we can ask them a question if that's something they're going to take care of tomorrow or where they are with that.
Council Martin is right on time. How you doing? Sorry to put you on the.
That's okay. What's up?
For the record, Councilman Martin is in. We was discussing the move ordinance number 02-20 on to the regular council meeting.
Is that
Just in the
one for
discussion.
of the?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, you want, and Councilman also just had a question.
Okay.
Councilman Austin, you want to repeat that?
Councilman Martin, what I asked the administration to do is post the sign as the speed limit reflects today, as a part of one of our previous meetings, and that hadn't been accomplished yet. So I want to be able to ask the mayor where he was in that process for properly marking the roadway as it is right now. Somebody's phone right now.
That's my phone. I think it's definitely an appropriate question. Remember the reason why we went to not an emergency to give them time to put the signs up. So when we meet next Tuesday, what we need to find out is how is he progressing with that?
Yes.
Okay, that's definitely an appropriate question. I do want to say, I hope I have your support. We've been dealing with this thing for 4 months. It was far too long. That's why we never really got to the chase. Okay, we can only do one thing at a time if we're going to do it right. So we need to, that's definitely a question that needs to be asked. And also those flashing yellow things that he talked about,
Right.
that you see when you go to University Hospital,
Yes.
that too, to help people cross the street. Okay. I've been riding down Euclid the last couple of weeks, and at Roslyn and Euclid, the light is up. And right here at where Old Main State, the Marlow here, the light's up. But still, the traffic is still going real fast down Euclid. So especially when you get to Superior, you can get to Superior and go east toward Cleveland Clinic and that, and you can basically don't have to stop. So that's one of the reasons why we need to reduce the speed. And then based on what we've been hearing from the administration, the key operative word is consistency in terms of the speed. Instead of one section is 35, another section 25, it needs to be 25 all the way across. Okay, and you can still get through our city in 5-10 minutes at best from Lakeview to Ivanhoe. That's from one end east to the other end when it turns to Cleveland. So your question, Councilman Austin, is definitely on point. And we definitely need to find out, Mr. Chairman, when these lights that he talked about is going up. And then what role ODOT is going to play to help us besides that too.
Can I share enough for the president,
Yeah.
please? ODOT recently called the administration about a grant to have a study executed to see where the crosswalks are going to have to put in place the best location for those crosswalks. That grant was approved, and they're going through the process of conducting the study so that when we put the crosswalks in, we don't just put them in based on migration patterns, because you know migration patterns are subject to change. That's the next step in this process, to make sure that we properly identify the best location for the new crosswalks. And this grant takes care of that study, and it's my understanding that the mayor had ordered some crosswalks. I think he said something about 11 or 12 weeks as far as the arrival of that effort, if you will. So more to follow.
So, Brother Austin, that's
yes,
another
sir.
appropriate question needs to come up Tuesday. What's the status of that? Where is it at? How much progress have you made on that?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. All right. So, is anyone have any concerns about that legislation? The speed? Anybody have a problem with this 25 mile per hour speed limit?
I have a problem with it, because all it's gonna do is push that traffic up to Terrace Road. And Terrace Road is already in extreme disrepair, so much so that we got car parts lining, going down the roadway. And the road is buckled already, and they're gonna be flying down Terrace instead of flying down Euclid. So I don't see, where's the resolution here?
Well, then we need to reduce the speed on Terrace.
Reducing the speed is not gonna change what's going on, because if there's nobody there to monitor that speed, and I can say that we don't need the police sitting on Terrace Road. So it's a quagmire. Whatever you do, it's gonna force that traffic somewhere else in this city. To Hayes, to Terrace, the roads are already in disrepair, like I said, and it's just gonna be a mess.
Well, since I've been driving down Euclid, and I just haven't taken the time to stop it, there's 3 areas where if you drive in your car, you hit it, it shakes your car. It's like a pothole. Okay, there's 3 of them. One near, you know how you pass the McDonald's coming east? And you see cars jumping around it, because if you've been driving, you know what I'm talking about. So I was going to ask that they have the service department come out there and fill that out. The Terrace situation, I don't know what to tell you, Ms. Stevenson, that we're going to do so much. All of this ultimately boils down to enforcement. They hired 2 people. And you talked about enforcement, Mr. Austin.
Yes, I did.
And I think the revenue that we can generate, we're not doing it for revenue, we could probably get maybe 2 or 3 more police officers on what's called the basic patrol for traffic. So once people start getting tickets and stuff, it'll slow some people down. The chair situation, the building where Huron used to be, you can't even go through there. It's a mess. I mean, we talked about that for years before they just put one-way signs so people can go down it. There was supposedly a guy who was supposed to buy that building. He had bought the building, then he said he didn't want the building. I don't even know where that is. So Terrace is another situation.
Yeah, we
Right.
got trucks, tractor trailer trucks coming up side streets. And when they hit Terrace Road, the vibrations come up that hill and the houses start to vibrate. Now, if you force these people up to Terrace Road, that's what's gonna happen. Which means that you're gonna end up with an erosion problem because that land up there is not gonna be stable once all these trucks, and we got trucks right now coming up Grassmere, coming up Page, coming up Chapman. 3 axle trucks. We got trucks coming up Stanwood to get to Oak Hill. You know, we're already in a situation.
Yeah, that should be checked.
Well, that's something to take in consideration. So let's move with what we got.
Great.
Okay.
Debate is great. We had a consensus to moving on.
Thank you.
No,
Where are you right now?
I was asking before we moved on.
So you better stay right here.
I was asking.
Okay, thank you. Where are you now, Mr. Chairman?
Ordinance number 02-20, I was asking for, do I have consensus to move it on, or?
Yeah, I'm saying let's move it on.
Said
No, that's
the
the
administration
sole,
review
the sole conservation thing?
No, sir, that's
those-
the 35 to 25. I was asking for everyone's
Oh, okay.
opinion.
I wanted to ask the administration if they actually accomplished the small thing we asked them to do, was get the
Wait a
signs
minute.
posted. You know, make sure we're on task with, you know,
Turn
kind of
it
doing what we're
turn it
supposed to
over,
do,
Councilman.
not just pushing
This
things
one?
along.
Is that the general review?
Hey, look at this.
Yeah, that's it.
This one? I got one says resolution 0120 says the resolution authorizing the mayor into.
Ordinance.
Memorandum.
Ordinance.
Ordinance.
Oh, the ordinance.
0220.
All right. But this one says the Kyle County Soil and Waters Conservation.
Ordinance 0220.
220. Oh, I don't have.
You can let us have my copy.
I don't have that.
Excuse me.
See? I don't have it. Okay. So we're gonna move it on?
So we let the administration respond to the asks of the council before we continue to move things along when we find ourselves in a situation.
Okay, then what we'll do is, after they respond, then we know what we need to do.
Right.
Okay, all right.
I'm only one vote.
Yeah. I agree.
So 2 stays and I guess the president after.
Well, I could just chair.
Okay.
So what are we doing?
So we 2 and 2 right now for, you said, y'all 2 said.
Move it on.
We said just let it stay right now.
Well,
Until we
not,
get the information we need.
I mean, we find out before Tuesday.
If we can find out for Tuesday, that would be helpful.
Right, okay.
We've been dealing with this thing too long. I'm gonna deal with it one more time, and I don't want to have nothing.
they
I'm not gonna
should
be messing
have
around
been
with it for
provide
5
us the
months.
information before
Yeah.
Tuesday, that's 5 days from now.
Yeah.
Once we get the information, we're good to go, we can move it forward.
No.
Oh,
You do your due diligence, he's carry out the law, you make the law, you carry them out, that's what you do.
Council President?
Do you even know the question?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I know the question, what you're saying, you don't wait till
Yes,
he from
ma'am.
him, you pass the law,
Do you
and
guys,
then he has to
just for clarity
execute.
for the record, you all want to hold it until we get confirmation from the mayor or administration before next Tuesday? If it happens, it'll be up here on the agenda.
Yeah, the
Not
information
at
that
all.
was asked for from Carl.
Can you inquire to them to let them know that's our concern, so, okay.
And, yeah, could you even tell them it's an emergency for?
Right. It's time for us to get off the pot on this one. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, resolution number 01-20, second reading resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a memorandum of understanding, MOU, between the Northeast Ohio region of the American Red Cross and the city of East Cleveland, Ohio, through its fire department to document cooperation between the two organizations in conducting smoke alarm installations and fire safety education in the community, requested by the fire chief, sponsored by Nathaniel Martin, Timothy Austin, Councilor at Large, and Ernest L. Smith, Council President.
Thank you, Dr. God, Councilman Martin.
Yeah, we discussed that this is a smoke alarm, the smoke detectors in the process, which we explained real well. So I don't think nobody should have a problem with that one.
No problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
Move it for sure.
Move it.
Yeah,
sure.
Yes.
All right, next up we have remarks and requests of public, 3 minutes, please.
Justin Anderson, 36 Terrace Road.
Thank you.
First I want to talk a little bit about, especially going back to my thoughts on our last meeting, which was I believe, the personnel and appointments meeting. I want to talk give a little bit an example of how not to put your personal feelings in this, and Nate talks about that all the time. Councilwoman Gowdy, it sounded like you were a little bit against the occupancy raises and all that situation. But a prime example of you didn't let your personal feelings dictate how you're going to, vote to help our city. So I want to thank you for working with your colleagues up here. And like Willa Henry said, you all helped bring the city over $60,000 and saved us from lawsuits. And I think we all know what would happen in a lawsuit. So that's an example of don't let your personal feelings and things that goes on outside of here dictate what you do up here. You all have to work together, and you all should be the last people fighting against each other. And I know that this council will be probably the most active council in the history of the city. One of the most, definitely. And I know that he's always out here. I know that she's out here. I know that you two are definitely out here. And you will be, so I'm excited about the energy of that. But you all gotta work together, no matter if you like each other or not. I have a major concern. All across the city I've been seeing these signs that says you can't park from 3 to 6. 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. for 3 hours, I guess, during the night. It's good. I believe it's on the books, so you didn't have to bring it back in front of council, but the law, to my knowledge, states that you have to put an ordinance on those signs. You can't just put a sign up that says no parking from 3 to 6. There's no ordinance on it, because it may sound crazy, but by putting an ordinance up, it lets people research and determine, do they want to follow this ordinance or not. The consequences are another thing, but there has to be an ordinance up. You can't just say no parking from 3 to 6 and there's no city ordinance up on it. So we got all these signs that were ordered with no ordinance on it. So people, that's kind of like illegal. You have to have a city ordinance on those signs. And that's a major concern. The CMHA board, the city has one appointment to the CMHA board, and the mayor recommends with the council approval. You write a resolution to approve whoever. There's a guy, I believe, who's been on there for a long time, determines, I believe, every 3 years, and every 3 years he should come back for another resolution. I haven't seen that. We need to get that board position taken care of. So that's important. We got a lot of CMHA residents here.
We have one on there now, right?
Some attorney.
Yeah, Robert Davis.
Yeah, Davis, but he hasn't came up here every 3 years to renew his term. And we're not being represented properly with
Sit down.
My apologies, Mr. O'May. Thank you, Mr. Anderson, and my apologies, Mr. O'May.
So I start now.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. The council shall not wait for the administration to post the signs. It is incumbent upon the council to pass the ordinance or resolution that gives him the authority to post the signs and If you do not, you're not doing your job. Section 20, power and duty, the mayor. The mayor shall be responsible to whom? The council, for the proper administration of all affairs of the city and the enforcement of the laws and ordinance that pass. You speak through ordinance, saying you're going to wait to see what he says. You pass the ordinance, and then you have some teeth. We pass the ordinance for you to post the signs and what have you. That's the way government operates. It's not a way to see what he says. Your responsibility is to pass the law. And that gives him the authority or what have you. And then you have some teeth to say, why haven't you done this? We have authorized you to do it. That's your job. Charter says that. Read it. And it tells you that. You don't sit and wait, well, we gotta wait to see what he says. That's what you're going to do with all ordinance or whatever the law you are to do. And he carries out the law. He can't carry out something he doesn't have authority to do. That's incumbent upon you to do that. Not waiting to see what this one said. That's why I blurted out. I thought you would get the hint. So now I'm reading from the chart what it says you to do. That's where you speak through legislation, ordinance, and resolution. And he's to carry it out. I have spoken, let the record reflect that. I
have my response.
articulated
Just make sure you stay here for my response.
to this council their
Make sure you stay
responsibility.
here for my,
And that's irrefutable.
I don't mind.
You will definitely get your response. Because we weren't talking about future legislation. Thank you, Mr. Schooler. You will have your response.
Well, I'm talking about this piece what you want to get right now.
We was talking about legislation that's already on the boards. Where are the signs for the legislation and the laws that's already
Sit down,
on the board?
Sit down.
Thank you, Mr. Teacher.
Sit down.
We will
okay?
respond, and you know what? And I apologize for responding when I wasn't responding to. We talk about future legislation, so we really appreciate you. And I apologize. I know you want.
Even with your future
Sit down,
We
Mr.
know
Mays.
that. Thank you.
You're wrong. Sit down.
And anyone else?
No fighting for children.
Yeah, because I don't follow the assault charge.
Next, we have response of council and mayor to remarks of the public. Seeing no one from the administration, Councilman Martin.
I just say that the legislation of reducing the speed, I think is important. And I'm flexible that we can wait a few days for them to get the information so everybody's comfortable. So it's time for us to get this done. Then the next thing is, and I'm very sure, dealing with the chase. You know, we need to deal with that. But I think we have one part of it. Then we need to work with, see what Cleveland's going to do and see how we can connect the two. Because there's a couple of council people in Cleveland who want to do something with the chase too. Okay. That's my remarks. Okay.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Gotti.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for coming out, and also the ordinance for 3 o'clock in the morning to 6 in the morning. And I mean, I see the signs up, but a lot of people still parks on the street, and I'm kind of concerned about that. And they will be getting tickets, and they don't know how to fight it. And if it's nothing in place the right way, they should be able to fight the ticket. Because if for their car to be towed and all this, and it's not upright, we have a problem, another problem. So I'm just hoping that we get it right. Those signs on the streets.
Just not to, I know you get, my question is, you brought up about the sign from 3 to 6, and the ordinance not being on the sign. We need a legal response to that. Because I'm not sure whether,
All signs are put up with the ordinance.
With the ordinance on it.
Ordinance is on it.
so
We
we can get that answer when she's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We ordered a bunch of
The Councilwoman.
Wow. And that's it.
We
And
all know
I mean,
it's no money.
you know,
Got it wrong.
far as this reducing the speed, and, I mean, I'm all for that. Because we is in a city, and let me explain to a lot of people. East Cleveland have a lot of high-rise around here and a lot of people with wheelchairs around here. It ain't like we in a normal heights where everybody can afford it and they got kids that move into different suburbs and stuff like that and able to move around. Each year we bringing in more people that's in need, you know, of crosswalk. That should have been in place long time ago, you know, a lot of stuff. So, you know, so that's why I, you know, really need to ask, if you think about it, reducing the speed will save lives. It's for the safety of the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Stevenson?
I have nothing.
Thank you. Councilman Tim Austin?
Hey man, I got a couple of quick notes. The question was, why delay the legislation? The plan was to allow the mayor the opportunity to advise the council on the progress that we requested as far as posting the signs that should already be in place. But he said there were some signs that were either missing or not appropriately marked. So I asked him to post the appropriate signs as they are supposed to be based on the construct of Euclid Avenue today. And that did not happen as of yet that I know of, because I've not seen any new signs posted for speed limit. And that was the pause or the concern that we asked the body to wait for the administration to respond to the progress report, not tell us how to perform legislative activity. That was nowhere near the question and or concern. And I will ask the law department if she can look into the necessity for the ordinance to be posted. There was some other concern on another note where the judge during the budget hearing said that sometimes the officer at the stop may not know what ordinance they are stopping somebody for, and that causes the opportunity, as the councilwoman said, for them to have a reason to rebut or refute a ticket and or concern. So this may be an opportunity, not necessarily a legislative requirement. So I definitely will take that back and ask the law director the question so we understand. There is reason why some of the signs may be missing, because they simply fall off, you know, fall down. Somebody decide they need a 35-mile-an-hour sign at their house as opposed to leaving it posted where it should be posted. And I'm not being facetious, that actually happens. If you go on somebody's baby and see a stop sign, they didn't buy that stop sign. So more to follow, and thank you very much, Brother President. I appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman. I want to thank my colleagues, thank Dr. Guy, my cameraman. Most important, I really want to thank you three for coming out.
Amen.
Could have been anywhere else. Definitely are concerned about your city. I want to just leave us off with a reminder to you three and also to everyone at home that the demo list is due tomorrow. You do not have to be a part of a block club. You can call one of us up here with the address that you want to be demolished, the vacant, dilapidated property. If you are a block club, if you are with the block club, then you already know what to do. Or if you feel comfortable bringing your addresses up to City Hall, you can take down to the Building and Housing Department. And I know for a fact that anyone up here would answer their phone and take that address down of that vacant, dilapidated house that you want tore down on your street. It is due tomorrow. The list is due tomorrow. So thank you very much. With that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we be adjourned.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.